Hi, this is Elise Stuetz, and today I'll be interviewing Miss Pirro, Director of Physical Education, Health, and Athletics, and be asking her view on the turf field bond. What do you think the impact of the turf field bond will be on the physical education program and athletics?
So as with classroom space, that's really important. This is the classroom space for physical education for our secondary school, so grades 7 through 12. So this is the physical education classroom, and like all classrooms, it needs to be maintained and it needs to be of high quality and reliable for us to run class. In addition to our secondary physical education program, it also is very, very helpful to our pre-K through 6 youngsters because they are all involved in our developmental programs and our recreational programs. So it gives them the opportunity and more opportunities to be here on our fields to recreate, if you will, which is something that in this approaching post-pandemic that our young people need more than ever, to get out, fresh air, and be able to use, outdoor educational facilities to have some fun and to be with their friends and to be in a healthy environment. And it's very challenging to do that in the existing space that we have because it is just really challenging in terms of its drainage and its wear and tear, and it's just the grass is very, very challenging under the existing conditions.
How will athletes compete while the fields are under construction?
So yes, challenging situation while the district is under construction for some of our teams, not all of our teams, to compete. But like all area school districts who have renovated their fields, we find and will find places. We've already, reached out for plan Bs and things should the bond go through, which is our hope, that we will use other facilities outside of the school district. Pace University, Westchester Community College will use other facilities to play on the road next year. And of course, that will only be for some teams when they are under construction during their season. So I think that, that's a small price to pay for the huge benefits that will come with it.
Pros and cons to the bond?
So speaking of the pros and cons, many, many more pros than cons. And the con I see is, just previously mentioning our ability to move our program during the construction timeline. So if that is the only con, then, that is something that is very, traditional for anybody doing any kind of renovations to their fields. Many, many schools have done so before. There are so many districts in Section 179, and I think there's very few without turf. So they've all gone through this. So I have tremendous confidence in speaking to my colleagues who are in the same position and renovating and, and some of the things that they've done. We've already had discussions on that. So that's really helpful to know how to handle that as a challenge, if you will. The pros, what are the pros? My goodness, so many. We have been challenged with drainage issues, fields that are not usable. Today we're starting spring sports, and when the weather is nice out, our fields may not be nice as per coming out of the spring, out of the winter, and, the fields being very soft and muddy and such, where, some of our area schools, most of them are able to go out on their turf today. So it's a disadvantage to our athletes to be able to train. And also for our physical education classes who, as soon as they could get out in some great weather and would be able to use some of the facilities, they have to sort of wait for better opportunities for the field to really dry out and for it to be usable. We're looking at the main field being turfed, a brand new track, or resurface of the track, I should say, a press box that will house all of the things that we currently house on the top of the bleachers. So if anybody's ever had an opportunity to see some great home games here, we're using the top of our bleachers where maybe, where a lot of other schools actually have a press box for those types of things that are necessary. Announcing, music, filming, all of these things should be housed in a particular area right off your bleachers. And currently we use the top of our bleachers and have been very creative with that. The other fields are going to be grass, but are going to be regulation fields, where now we only have one regulation field, and our top fields now are used for like modified games and such, where now we'll have 3 amazing places to play that are regulation fields, which allow us to play more games at home, to not have to wait for one particular field to be ready. And also the LED lighting will assist and help with being able to have more teams practice back to back, allow us to run some really great evening events. For homecoming, we're always renting lights and bringing them in. And we are really creative and we do some great things, but how awesome would it be to have the lights existing there and just be able to turn them on and give everyone an opportunity to work under some really great, very focused lights down on the field, so it shouldn't hurt the community in any way, shape, or form. And how wonderful for the community that they'll be able to come out and watch some great games that are going to go on, and not it's on, it's off, it's on, it's raining, it's on, it's off. And be able to use the track and have our developmental programs like our youth sports be able to benefit from these opportunities also.
Why did Westlake choose to get the fields now?
Now is just an amazing time because our financial consults have told us that this is easy enough to replace retiring debt, so it is not going to cost the taxpayers any more money. So that's like amazing. It's amazing to be able to do this scope of work and not have to have it seen in a tax raise. So that's what makes it the most incredible time to do it. We've gone out before, or we tried to, and then COVID hit. So here we are again, but it is a great time to really make this plunge and upgrade the facility for our student athletes and for the community. And, for us to bring that Wildcat pride to our facility, instead of sacrificing missed opportunities when we've worked so hard to earn the right to be home on in a playoff game and not be able to play at home because it's rained the night before. Well, the section says you have to play on that particular day. There's no let's put it off a day or 2 or 3 like we can in the normal regular season. When you're doing playoff season, our soccer program, our lacrosse program, people that are using the fields, baseball, softball, they've all had a lot of stress put our young people because we couldn't play at home. And so we have to go find places to play. We're not at our home, at a home field advantage. We have to play at our opponent, or you have to find a neutral site. And sometimes that comes with a cost. Many times it does, if you can even find a place to do that on a day that, it's so spontaneous. The weather, Mother Nature doesn't always cooperate with our schedule the way we would like her to. So no matter how much we plan A, B, and C, you don't know until that day if you're actually going to be able to use that field. So it's just a lot of stress and worry for our young people, our coaches who have worked so hard to be able to perform at high levels. And I can't give them enough of a shout out for all their hard work and the resiliency that they have shown under circumstances of such.